we're going to consider our feet and how they support the underlying principles in our movement in Tai Chi. So some of those underlying principles, it's very easy to see, it's very easy to understand that connection between the feet and that principle. Let's do pushing chi. Bringing that left foot forward. And now put your focus on your feet. And feel that transfer of the weight, as substantial and insubstantial. Think about what we talked about last week, how important feeling that weight shift is to help keep us balanced. Well, our feet are a big part of that substantial and insubstantial shift. Feeling the ground, feeling that weight shifting forward and back, helping us stay balanced. Now, you're not moving forward or backward or side to side, but you do still need to be balanced. The other principle that's involved in that, as you switch to your right side now, is being rooted and grounded. Being stable in this stance, feeling your feet, getting the information from the ground to help keep you stable. If you think about what this movement is all about, the martial arts application of pushing an opponent away from you, if your feet are not rooted and grounded, if you are not stable in your stance, if you try to push like this, it's not going to be an effective movement, right? Feet are very important in the whole weight shift, substantial and insubstantial, that information, and being rooted and grounded. So let's take our kicks now, for example. Bring your weight to the left, lift and kick right, and then shift the weight over to the right, lift and kick left. Now obviously we're still on that idea of substantial and insubstantial, being rooted and grounded, but you're also involving the idea of columns, letting that column be straight and stable all the way from the ground up through your feet so that your column stays intact. So add that smash and box the ears now as you lower that center of gravity, moving from the Dantian. Think about how much information your feet are giving you. And now I want you to think about how you need to relax your feet so that they can give you that information. If your feet are all scrunched like this, trying to grip the ground, you're actually limiting that information. When we think about Tai Chi, remember we want open and loose joints. We want everything to be flowing. And if you're gripping like this, you're blocking that flow of information. So let your feet be relaxed. Let them give you as much information as possible as you do your kick, smash, and box the ears. So now, if we're actually moving forward or backward or side to side, again, our feet are important and they need to be fluid. They need to actually feel the ground, be rooted and grounded, but in order to support the underlying principles, they need to be fluid. And one of the principles that you may not have thought about in connection with your feet is rotation. And rotation is very important. We know that with the martial arts application because rotation is power. So let's look at part the wild horse's mane. Holding that ball to the right, step out, part the wild horse's mane. Now, if you simply rock back and part the wild horse's mane like that, you had no rotation. There's no power in that motion. If you were to just try to do that with just your arms, you're not going to be successful against your opponent. You need to actually rotate with your entire body into that motion. So there's something you can do with your feet. It's called the twist step. And that twist step is going to help you with that rotation, which in turn will help you with your power. So think about if you're holding the ball to the right, let that left shoulder come to the front so that as you step out left, you're rotating into that motion. Now, as you rock back, you turn your feet so that your right shoulder now is towards the front, and you can step into your part the wild horse's mane. So now as you rock back, you're going to turn your feet and bring that left shoulder forward so that you can come into your part the wild horse's mane. The feet need to be fluid. If I'm starting on the right, stepping forward, now as I turn, see how both of my feet are turned together. I'm not just stepping forward, I'm actually turning myself so that I bring this right shoulder to the front and step into my movement. Now I'm bringing that left shoulder into the movement by turning my feet, turning my whole body so that I can rotate into that motion. One of the other pieces of that rotation as you're doing it, holding the ball to the right, step out, part the wild horse's mane, coming into your twist step, which means your feet are turning a lot. They're very fluid. As you step, this left foot needs to be fluid to correct, letting that rotation happen all the way down the chain. If you step and keep that foot turned out, that's really bad on your knee and it doesn't support the rotation. You've blocked it off right here halfway through your body. You have to rotate down the chain and let that heel turn. Then coming into your next twist step, step out, let that entire chain rotate into this motion. Part the wild horse's mane, brush knee, fair lady works the shuttle. They all use the twist step. Let's do brush knee, and we're going to go this direction now, holding that ball to the right. Step out, brush knee. Now as you rock back, you're turning this left foot out and then you're turning that right foot so that your right shoulder is pointing towards that opponent, stepping out. Oops, I did part the wild horse's mane. Brush knee. Now as you do this, remember to adjust that left foot. Don't leave it pointing out this way. Bring that rotation in. Now rocking back, twisting, brush knee, rock back, twist both feet. It's really, the feet are fluid. You're twisting from here, and that power is coming from your hips, from that whole body rotation. One more. Brush knee. Good. Same thing with fair lady works the shuttle. In the short form, in the long form, your feet are doing completely different things with fair lady works the shuttle. But if you step out, fair lady works the shuttle, you can do that same twist step, fair lady works the shuttle. Twisting and fair lady works the shuttle. Let's go back to part the wild horse's mane for a second, thinking about how the feet are supporting the underlying principles. Not only is it supporting your rotation, but now it's also supporting your substantial and insubstantial as you bring that Dantian over that base of support. It allows this leg to become completely insubstantial so you can choose to step forward. Remember, understanding your substantial and insubstantial helps you make the choice of stepping forward or stepping backward or stepping to the side. So speaking of stepping to the side, wave hands like clouds obviously has rotation, but it doesn't have the twist step in it. But your feet are still supporting that rotation by supporting the underlying principle of moving from the Dantian. So as you do your wave hands like clouds, you're stepping out. Now you're rotating, bringing that Dantian over this left side. This center of mass coming over your base of support. This column is nice and straight. Now as you bring that right foot in and it becomes the substantial side, your Dantian has to move over this base of support. Your rotation is happening because of, you're stable in your movement because that rotation is helping you stay stable. Your feet are the foundation of that stable rotational movement. If you feel that substantial and insubstantial, rooted and grounded, helping that rotation, bringing that Dantian over that base of support, your feet are actually integrally involved in that movement, keeping you stable and making that movement effective. Let's do one more, repulse the monkey. If you start with your left foot forward, that means that left foot needs to be completely insubstantial to move back. Your feet, you have to have this right foot totally grounded, ready to accept that, keeping that column intact. Then it has to be fluid enough to let the left leg come back, and now that right leg becomes insubstantial. Your feet are the very foundation of that chain of stability. Let's do repulse the monkey this way. Starting with that left foot forward, let that left foot become empty. And then stepping back. Now look how fluid your feet have to be. They have to move to allow that rotation to happen, moving from the Dantian. Remember, you're getting away from an opponent like this. If your feet are not fluid, if they're not allowing that rotation to happen, you're not going to be stable. You're not going to be able to get away from your opponent. So everything about movement starts in your feet. That's your foundation. You can't just forget your feet. You have to think about, where are they? Are they helping my body be stable? Or am I fighting my feet because they're not in the right position? They're not fluid. Maybe they're being stuck. So let's do that twist step one more time. We'll do brush knee. So holding the ball to the right, step out, brush knee. Think about twisting now, moving from the Dantian, bringing that center of mass over that base of support. Choose to step forward and then rotate into that motion, giving it power, rocking back, turning that right foot out, turning the left foot, and rotating into this motion. As you think about your feet, now think about that entire chain. You're bringing your right shoulder forward now and rotating into that motion. One more twist step and brush knee.